Driven by outrage and spanning generations, the Rohingya demonstrators gathered, demanding justice and reminding the world just how much they suffered at the hands of Myanmar's military.
Young women were raped, even children were killed in front of their mothers. Children were slaughtered. My son was killed, and so was my husband.
On the very day a widely criticized repatriation agreement between the governments of Bangladesh and Myanmar was to begin, the anger was all too apparent and the fear was palpable.
We're so afraid that if they send one of us back to Myanmar today, tomorrow they'll send back 10, and the day after tomorrow they'll send back 20.
Despite repeated calls from the United Nations and numerous human rights groups not to begin implementing the plan, it was unclear during most of Thursday what Bangladesh's government would decide.
Emotions are, of course, running high. These Rohingya refugees are terrified that they may be forced to return to Myanmar, where horrific atrocities were committed against them. And we must remember, the Rohingya are among the most persecuted minorities in the world.
At one point, the Refugee Relief and Repatriation Commission in Bangladesh said it would help any refugee who wanted to return to Myanmar.
We are completely ready for the repatriation to proceed as was planned. So everything is set. Our logistical and other facilities are in place in Camp 22. My colleagues are there to receive any refugee or Rohingya people who may come up voluntarily to repatriate.
Hours later, though, a delay to the plan was announced. The reason? None of the refugees on the repatriation list were willing to go back. At the protest, refugees told us what they feel they most deserve.
If we were given citizenship in Myanmar, then there would be no need to take us back there. We would go back on our own.
None are returning, at least for now, which means even more uncertainty for around 750,000 refugees whose lives are already very much in limbo. Mohammed, Jamjoom, Al Jazeera, at the Uchiparang refugee camp in Cox's Bazar, Bangladesh.